What's up, Juju Gang? How is it going? Yeah, it's me, Yashu, on an evening live stream. What is it like? It's like almost 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I hope everyone's doing well. I thought I had to go live today, and apologies that I didn't during the day. I just kind of got sidetracked, and I wasn't watching Tesla too much today, but obviously I should have been. Let me just pull up, make sure everything's up here. Do me a favor, if you are on Twitter, feel free to like and retweet my stream link. Let's get the word out that I am live. So we got a lot to talk about today, and let me know if my audio is coming in clear. I see who says, can we get a Promptu stream next time? Always Friday, 12 p.m. That's your Promptu stream. Bill, how's it going? Let me know in the chat if my audio is coming in good, and where you guys are tuning in from, city, state, country, whatever you guys feel like sharing. Bill saying minus 10% tomorrow. I guess we'll find out. So if you were living in a cave, Tesla was up 9.35% today. Now, I'm going to caveat this move that we had today with just going through some of the macro landscape before. It's not Tesla specific. I saw some stuff on Twitter with people trying to say, oh, well, this is with regards to Elon's Qatar interview he did last night with Bloomberg, or, this news about Twitter or this lawsuit. No. This was very much a macro move, and then a little bit of extra alpha added in with EV stocks. And I'll kind of try to walk us through that a little bit. So the Nasdaq was up 2.5% today to end the day, pretty much flat after hours. So 2.5% for the Nasdaq, obviously a pretty strong day. But in today's kind of terms of 2.5%, you can almost call it quiet, ironically. That S&P 500 was up pretty much about the same. But if you pull up the EV watch list, or the auto watch list probably is a better way to describe it, you'll see, and maybe I'll actually come up into my watch list section here, you'll see GGPI. Hold on one second. Let's do percent. There it is. So Rivian was actually up the most, 10.8% to end the day. Tesla was up 9.35. NIO, Lucid, XPEV, all up 6, 7, 8+%. So it wasn't a Tesla specific move per se, but in these times, we'll take it. Let me read some comments. Hope says, bring the Juju. We need a green day tomorrow. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I got the Juju right here. I got a couple to go. It's not going to be a massively long live stream. I'll grant you guys that right now, but I hope everyone's doing good. Everyone's shocked that I'm live. How's it going, Valerian King? Tesla from ATL, Tesla Cyclone, or Cylon, pardon me. Hello from Seoul, Namahe, how's it going? Daryl says, at work too. Futures are down. Yeah, honestly, I don't really pay too much attention to futures at the moment with how wacky this market is. By the way, who was on the live stream on Friday for Friday Power Hour live stream? I can't even pull up Tesla. Hold on. Who was up on the live stream on Friday when we were looking at all the call flow coming? Anyone here? Anyone here on the live stream on Friday? Well, we were getting pretty strong flows, and I think we ended that live stream collectively getting the idea from the flows that 700 was going to break. There was 700 strike, 720 strike, call sweeps coming in the last 5 minutes of close here. So we were seeing a lot of solid action to end the Friday. And of course, with long weekends, you don't necessarily know what's going to happen. So we'll see. Marcus says I was on the replay. Marcus, how's it going, my friend? Brian says hello from Vancouver Island. Brian, welcome. I'm coming to Victoria very soon, my friend. Rob, appreciate that. Hope you're well as well. So what we'll do as well is we will go through some news for sure. Let me just pull up my Chrome. We'll go through some news for sure. But I want to go through this CNBC interview today. Not interview, but Phil LeBeau, CNBC News. And I want to go through, they talk about Elon clarifying layoffs and other stuff.
Well, we're, as we always do, keeping an eye on shares of Tesla. By the way, I would add that Lucid and Rivian, much smaller players in EV, are also up sharply. This morning, though, over at Tesla, Elon Musk laid out his plans to cut jobs at the company. And our Phil LeBeau has the latest for us. Phil.
David, this is a confirmation of what
you guys can hear that, right?
Elon Musk tweeted about, I'd say about a week and a half ago, where he said, look, there will be some job cuts at Tesla. He was speaking at a Bloomberg conference in Doha earlier today. And here's how he says it's going to roll out in terms of the cuts at Tesla. These are salaried cuts, not hourly workforce, but the salaried staff. He says they will be reducing it by 10%.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Shit, I was just talking to myself. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I muted myself because I was about to cough. But I was just saying. By the way, I don't know why Phil LeBeau and CNBC keep going over and over about the salaried stuff. And I know Elon talked about it last night with the Bloomberg stuff. But I just don't get why it matters. I mean, we know it's essentially a capital restructuring play from ivory tower to boots on the ground on the factory lines. It's essentially, I mean, that's all it is at the end of the day. And the fact that, growth targets aren't being cut, if anything, they're being pushed out to say we're on track to continue to grow as fast as we plan to. If anything, that should be a lowering of OpEx. So I don't necessarily get this whole. I guess I kind of get it. The mainstream media loves to make something out of nothing, oftentimes. But Elon, you could see from Elon's reaction last night, from when he was asked this question, he was like, who cares? Like, come on, move on. I just didn't get it.
Percent works out to just 3 to 3.5% of the total staff, because there are so many who are the hourly workers, and those cuts will happen over the next 3 months. Here's Musk earlier today explaining the rationale behind these cutbacks.
We expect to grow our hourly workforce, but we grew very fast on the salaried side, and we grew a little too fast in some areas. And so it requires a reduction in the salaried workforce. And we're about 2/3 hourly and 1/3 salary.
That's the reason Tesla shares moving higher. This is going to be looked at as.
No, that's not the reason why Tesla shares are moving higher. Phil probably just said that because he was in passing, didn't really know how to transition. But that's not the reason why Tesla shares are up. I've saw that sentiment on Twitter. No, I wholeheartedly disagree. That's not the reason why Tesla shares were up today. Who cares about this OpEx cut, capital reallocation internally? No, it was macro. Plus, you could see the basket of EV stocks, auto stocks, were getting a boost today. So,
as a prudent move to do on the salaried side. As you take a look at the annual deliveries running all the way through last year, remember that we will be getting their Q2 delivery numbers shortly after the end of the month, probably July 1st or 2nd. And when they come in, the expectation is that they will be a little bit down compared to Q1 because, of course, we saw the shutdown of the factory in Shanghai as they had COVID restrictions in that country. So the volume there is going to be restricted, and that's why the Q1 numbers or Q2 numbers will be down, or the expectation is that they will be down compared to Q1. One other thing to keep in mind, you heard Elon Musk talk about the overall growth. They do expect to grow total workforce over the next year. Remember, they're ramping up in Texas as well as in Berlin. And this is a company that is still in a growth mode, though on the white-collar side, he believes the prudent thing is to trim the staffing for now. And he was also asked today, guys, about the lawsuit that's been filed in California by a couple of former Tesla employees saying that Tesla violated the state laws when it comes to mass firings or mass layoffs, and that there should have been greater notice and notification time before layoffs take effect, David.
Yeah, Elon basically said, don't even worry about that. That's a trivial thing.
Musk was asked about that. Not overly concerned. His belief is that whenever you have anything involving Tesla, it's going to get outsized attention in the headlines. And that was his response when asked about that lawsuit in California.
Look, I'd be a lot more worried, personally speaking. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'd be a lot more worried if Elon or Tesla management were to come out and say, look, we're cutting factory workers, shift workers, and we're cutting them from Shanghai, or cutting them from Fremont. That would, all of a sudden, you could make a kind of an argument. Okay, wait, why are they cutting factory line workers? But we're talking about, I don't know, I'm just going to spitball some positions here. Head of HR for a department. And again, I'm not saying these job titles to say that these jobs are meaningless, but the point here is these are not boots on the ground, so to speak. And so if Tesla or Elon are saying, like, look, we're spending too much money, too much capital being allocated towards these ivory tower jobs, and we overhired, and that often happens during a big bull run, is you often can fill up spots too far, too fast. Been through that kind of scenario before with tech startups. It gets bloated quite fast. So yeah, and as I see some comments here, Valerian said it doesn't matter beyond the impact, but as Elon said, any news is basically getting clicks, 100%. Tom says legacy media likes to script the truth over and over to keep a story in the news. It's not only that, but I think I mean, I don't want to say this is the case for everyone, but I think there is a degree of like recycling news going on as well, where for a lot of people, I'm not saying this is the case here, but for a lot of people, for a lot of news media outlets that don't follow particular companies that close, it's an easy narrative to continue to recycle every time it does get brought up. So, Brian, how's it going? Valorant says bull trap. I guess we'll talk about price action here soon with the options market. Let's see here. What other comments do we have? Let's finish this Let's finish this video and then I'll get to some of the comments.
Yeah, it was an interesting interview overall. Earlier, we used some excerpts, conversation about Twitter. Story for another day. But Phil, back to you on the salaried workers. I don't know if you know this, but I mean, how much did they increase? Do you know how much staffing over the last few years has gone up amongst this group? So we can put in perspective sort of this 3%, roughly 3%
Yeah, I
drop?
don't have a total number, David. I don't have a total number. They have about 100,000 employees worldwide. So if you're cutting 3 to 3.5%, that means you're cutting anywhere between 3,000, 3,500, something like that in terms of the white-collar staff that is going to be cut back. But they have been growing aggressively, especially not just in terms like vehicle design, but they have so many software engineers. I mean, Tesla really is a software company. And as they have grown...
Whoa. Did I just hear Phil LeBeau say that? Let me go back.
Many software engineers. I mean, Tesla really is a software company.
All right. So when people tell you Tesla is just an automaker, tell them Phil LeBeau said otherwise.
And as they have grown, it's only natural, David, that perhaps every once in a while you get a little too aggressive. And when you have the issues that you're facing worldwide right now in terms of costs and in terms of production, you trim it a little bit. It's not going to be the end of the world, and I wouldn't be surprised if they start adding back white-collar staff at some point in the future. This does not mean that these guys are cutting back permanently.
Exactly. Actually, I went through something kind of similar to that. I worked at a company, at a tech company, that when I joined was about 20 people. Within about a 13, 14 month span, we hired and grew to over, I think, 110 or something nuts, all local. Of course, predictable. Layoffs did come. We had to lay off a bunch of people across all departments. And it's never easy, but the biggest aspect to consider with layoffs is the people that aren't directly revenue generating are usually the first to go. So we talk about management executives, like those are handsomely paying jobs, not direct revenue allocation with that. Of course, it's more of a strategic. Those are often the first to go. Software engineers, I'd be surprised. I mean, maybe Tesla hired a bunch that they weren't 100% satisfied with, maybe. And maybe that's where that's coming from. Maybe there's a culture shift. Hard to say. Doesn't really make sense to speculate on it too much. But again, I'd be worried more if this was factory line workers being cut. Now, another thing, I see some people throwing in the comments here about China and the amazing news coming out of China with, I forget what the runway was. I think I have the tweet pulled up here somewhere. But essentially, there was news out of the CPCA today, I believe, telling us kind of what June is looking like, and it's looking like a mind-boggling month. A couple of caveats I'm going to throw out with June. Be careful not to extrapolate out for June, I think, because whenever you have shutdowns, you might have buildup of supply, whereas in a normal run rate environment, if there is no buildup, you can't run rate at that let's say that fast because of supply constraints. So be careful to not extrapolate out, I think, for June numbers, although I'd be happily proven wrong on that. So I think June's going to be killer. I think people might be getting a little bit ahead of themselves saying that we might match Q1 with production. Just with shutdowns, it's going to be very hard. So I think just temper expectations a little bit there. Brian says we need to produce a real movie about electric cars. How Tesla saved the electric car. Ryan, how's it going? Juju and fundamentals. Yes, I just ate 2 Jujus watching that CNBC video. By the way, shout out to 200 people tuning in on a random evening on Hit That Bid with me. And I never plan these, as you guys know, and I never really go online after hours. Or, yeah, I guess after hours is probably right. So shout out to you, whatever you guys do. And if you guys, what do you guys do? Throw in the comments. What are you guys doing right now? Eating dinner, going to the gym, on a walk? normally during the day, I think 50% of you guys will say you guys are at work. So I'm curious to know. Okay, so we got some other tweets to take a look at here. Let's just do here. Let's pull up Twitter. Okay, so options order flow. And let me just make this a little bit smaller. Reading the news. Just finished dinner. Best place to be. Appreciate that, Brian. Hyper, how's it going? Dark pool for the win. Yeah, well, actually, we'll talk about dark pool right now. Why don't we? Work, going to sleep. Appreciate you guys prioritizing the stream over going to sleep. That's always cool. Okay, so the options order flow for Tesla is still looking bullish. At the moment, it's about a 750 target for Tesla. There is some hard resistance up here, so be careful. But Delta positive today. I mean, the vast majority of the day, especially the morning, we saw a running away of puts being sold, calls being bought, hand over fist. If you look at the daily heat maps on Tesla, a massive amount of 680s, 700s bought today. And in fact, $10.7 million worth of September 800 strikes. So keep that in mind. If I go down to the biggest order flows for the day, check this out. We had 100, you guys know I like anything like over 50 orders. 110 orders this morning of June 2020 or June 24th. So this week's expiration 700 strike. That wasn't a signal. And this actually, if I'm not mistaken, this actually was probably on close on Friday's stream, I think, but I'm not sure if it was this big. It's been added on. Growing jujus, watering grass. There we go. I'm in my car eating In-N-Out. Jesus, living the life. Too hot to eat, says Gonzalo. Man, I want some of that heat. It's like 20 degrees here and it's like raining. Okay, so options. There we go. Another thing. Since when did Elon start to guess Tesla closing price for our Price is Right game? Because today he tweeted, let me actually pull this up. I said, I guess Elon's heard of the Price is Right rules on Friday's Power Hour stream. So Tesla closed at $711.11, 7-11. And Elon tweeted it this morning, this meme, of course, at 7-Eleven, gas price being and diesel price being both 7-Eleven. That made no sense. That was like a simulation moment. Someone's got to be screwing with us, market makers, institutional buyers, to make sure that the last closing cross price is 7-Eleven, just so people like us can throw on their tinfoil hats. Someone's messing with us. Maybe it's Elon. So I saw a Twitter tinfoil conspiracy saying that Elon is buying Tesla today. That's why he knew it was going to close. In other news, Sir Meier tweeted, breaking Tesla Model Y and Model 3 have been named most American-made vehicles in the U.S. by Cars.com. And by the way, this includes both EVs and internal combustion engine vehicles. The Model Y took over the Model 3 to be number 1. GM is not even in the top 10. If you look at this list from DriveTeslaCanada.com, the most American vehicles as per car.com. And again, this is everything. This is engine, wheel, like it takes into consideration the entire manufacturing chain. Model Y is number 1, Model 3 is number 2, and the Lincoln Corsair is number 3. Honda Passport, and then you got the X, then you got the S, then you got the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the Honda Ridgeline, Honda Odyssey, and the Honda Pilot. I find it ironic that the Biden administration, the U.S. administration, barely even mentions Tesla as an automaker when they are what they take up 4 out of the 10 spots on this list. Tesla, quote, this is from the editor-in-chief, Jenny Newman. Tesla is the only automaker to claim 100% domestic production for all cars it sells in the U.S., well above the industry's roughly 52% average. Nuts. And I saw some FUD today on Twitter, people saying like, "Whoa, like where do the batteries come from?" And then I think Sawyer quote tweeted saying only 5% of batteries come from China for the LFPs. So you guys are saying the simulation confirmed Elon's a prophet. Yeah, no kidding. Adam says, given the crazy macro market stuff, what's your end of year price prediction for the stock? Well, if Tesla does $12 EPS this year, by the way, in current PE, let's say trailing 12 is 100, forward is 58. At 75, I don't even know what the pull up the calculator. I won't even. I'll just make some lazy math. If Tesla does $11, $12 EPS this year at the same PE, that's a little bit over 1,000. Let's just round up to say 1,000. I mean, at this point, for Tesla to rally to 1,000, it's $300. That's about what 40 something percent for us to rally to 1,000. I'm kind of saving a lot of the victory laps. Like in this market, you can't really have victory laps with even a 10% move because we know Jeremy Powell's speaking tomorrow, so we don't know what's going to happen. But I mean, let me know in the chat what you guys think. I'd be happy if we close the year at 1,000. It would still be a dramatic, like a very low, a huge compression of the stock considering the EPS. And remember, Giga Berlin and Giga Austin are really looking to expand Q4, so maybe even that's too low. End of year. Originally, I had it. I think my end of year price target was like 1350 or something like that. Rob says, Yash, Tesla insurance continues to expand. Will insurance ever become a significant line item? A lot of people think so. I love the fact that people are. Does anyone in the comments have Tesla insurance? Let me know. I love the fact that people are saving 40% off Tesla insurance. I don't have it. We don't have it here in Canada. Go figure. We don't get a lot of good things up here. But I continue to look at Tesla insurance as a scaling mechanism for now. Yes, Tesla can make profits from it, massively so, because they're already dramatically underpricing from or under market rate than other underwriters. But I think Tesla's real goal with Tesla insurance isn't to get a huge amount of profit from Tesla insurance. I think it's to use it as a loss leader or a break even to scale. If you can buy a Tesla car that sure might cost you a little bit extra in premium, but you know that you can get Tesla insurance equipped with it at 40% less per month, well, all of a sudden your car payments become that much cheaper per month. And maybe in certain states like Tennessee, where car insurance is super cheap, and I don't know that, I just threw out Tennessee. Shout out Tennessee. But, California, BC here, it's like $250 a month for insurance. So that's a significant cost that we have. Hold on. I'll just report this. All good. I appreciate that. Where's another question here? Yeah, JPOW doesn't want anything to do with this. Here it says it's going to close the year where it started, 1,200, 1199. Who remembers the first day of the year? Like that was like 10 years ago at this point. The first trading day of this year. Does anyone remember that day? It was like deliveries just came out. It seemed like we were going back to all-time highs. Man, how things change. January 3rd, $1,208. Valorant says, California, I have Tesla insurance. Consider moving to Nevada now that Tesla insurance available there. Wow, you're basing where you're going to move based on Tesla insurance. That's awesome. Screw Geico. I mean, we don't even have Geico up here. We have to buy our basic level of insurance from the government. So, okay. Let's see here. One sec. We got any mods in here? All these spam bots. Rahul says, Yash, did you change your hair? No, I didn't change my hair. Does it look extra fluffy? I am due for a haircut. That much is true. Hyper Reason says, what do you think about Ken for Chicken Genius's short position? Well, okay, I'm not well versed because I still haven't watched that Tom Nash interview just yet, so I don't want to speak too much about it. But I don't think he's net short. Like if you combine everything, I don't think he's bullish in the near term. He might be hedged. Maybe that's what you're asking. I don't know. Look, my opinion with this stuff is people can do whatever the heck they want. I don't see, like I saw Ken's Twitter, him saying he's getting a lot of flack. In my opinion, I don't think anyone should be given flack for anyone to do what's right for their portfolio and what they deem fit. So I don't know necessarily where the hate's coming from. Ken seems like a good guy. He speaks his truth, and I respect that. Do I have to agree with everything? No, but that's just life. I mean, so Ken, so from what I've gathered, a lot of his thesis around recession is around the cost of oil and gas and how that is predicting a recession which guess it makes sense. The question I just have is like, how much of that is being priced in already? That's the $1 million question. That's the $1 million question. All right, Sean. There you go. Yeah. So he sold cover calls and bought puts. Fair enough. I mean, I just don't like, his itchy fingers portfolio, not long. Gotcha. I just don't like how people will come after other people. And this is not to speak of this scenario, but just in general, for them trading or speaking their truth with their own personal money. Like, I just don't get it. Like, even if you're short something, even if you're long something, I mean, more power to, more power to you. We can disagree. We can agree. We're all trying to get better. We're all trying to be less wrong, right? So I don't necessarily get what it all is about. Wayne says ICBC sucks. Yeah, agreed. Wayne, you don't have to. You don't have to convince me that much. Harry says the Ukraine war will end one day, and you don't want to be short on that day. Well, I hope that day comes fast, not for the markets, just for humanity, hopefully. Let's see here. Valuan says paying 1/3 of the value of my Tesla in insurance over 20 years. Think about nerfing my insurance as it improves. That's a good way to look at it. I mean, if I'm paying $250 a month, let me just pull up a calculator. If I'm paying $250 a month, $3,000 a year, and let's say I have the car. What's on average a car length for? 7-8 years? Maybe it's 5 years in America. Let's say 7 years. $21,000 in insurance is what I'm paying, theoretically speaking. And so if I get a 50% reduction, that's a $10,000 savings off of your Tesla vehicle, right? And again, I've said this before, I'll say it again with Tesla insurance. It's great that Tesla insurance is being priced as low as it is. It's still yet to be determined how, and hopefully this is a non-factor, how good is the claims service? If God forbid something happens, you have to submit a claim. Is that process good? Because remember, I told you guys about this on Friday. There's a bunch of insurance places up here that were really cheap, but in a couple of years, they actually had to leave the market because they weren't making any money. They couldn't hire customer service reps, claims reps, and it just wasn't a good service. So I'd almost have Tesla price it a little bit higher to ensure good customer service in that respect, which I'm sure they've already kind of planned for. Yeah, that's really the question is like, what level of recession is being priced in at this point? It'd be hard to convince me that a recession is not being priced in the market already. How much of it? 100% of it? 110% of it? Some people think, the indices are way oversold. Some people think we still have, 10% more downside to go, but for another 40% off indices, like maybe some people, I just have a hard time seeing. And again, like the Nasdaq has definitely sold off a lot more than the S&P 500. And let me just actually pull this up from highs. I think I did this on Friday. From November highs, which I think are all-time highs, the Nasdaq is down about 33%. Okay, maybe it sells off 40%. That would get us to 242 on the Qs, and we're at 281. So, maybe a little bit more downside, like 5. It's just for people saying we're 40% more to go on the downside in the Nasdaq. I just don't see how that's possible. A 40% drawdown from here on the Qs, like some people are saying, like, oh, a recession's coming in, we're gonna come back to pre-COVID levels. That's $160 on the Qs. That's COVID lows, right? So. And mind you, there's not a million people saying out this, but there's some outspoken ones out there. Hyper says, have you watched Jeremy Grantham? He predicted this in January. No, I didn't. And I've had a hard time. Of course, we're in a bear market now, but maybe you guys sympathize with me on this. For many, many years, you see a lot of these bear headlines every month. In fact, in almost every equity or asset class out there, you'll see bear headlines. And I've just been trained, of course, in the bull market that we've been in to kind of just discount it more than I probably should. And of course, fundamentals change and all this sort of stuff. But yeah, generally speaking, I'm an eternal optimist in the long haul. Like I think the U.S. economy, the North American economy, the world economy is going to be better in 20 years than it is today. I don't think the world's going to shit in 20 years. So that's where my eternal optimism comes from. So for the most part, I didn't really look at it too much. No. Yeah, Royce is saying Ken's theory. There's a fly in the room. Ken's theory is similar to the milkshake theory. Fed was removing liquidity, and the biggest straw is the stock market. So that'll be affected the most. Liquidity is, it's a broad topic. What is liquidity, right? Credits. Are we talking like, for example, reverse repos are at very high levels at the moment. It's still my belief that there's a lot of money waiting on the sidelines, because if you keep your capital in cash, no one wants to do that in the long haul. Inflation will eat that alive, even if it's back at 2%. The housing market, some people are waiting for that to go next. In fact, even Elon says that. We know equities have been crushed. We know crypto has been crushed. Gosh. So with the amount of cash that's sitting on the sidelines still, I think cash has to go somewhere to grow. Cash doesn't sit on the sidelines forever. Cash will go somewhere. And I think, by the way, there's a lot of geopolitical stuff that's happening that a lot of people conveniently like to miss out on as well. Like there was that CCP policy, right? That Chinese policy that came out where I think government officials, someone quote me on this, if I'm wrong, let me know. There was that policy that came out where like high-ranking CCP officials can't have a large amount of capital pooled overseas anymore if they wanted to keep climbing the ranks. So there's a million things there. And who knows under the curtains what's right, what's wrong, whatever it is. I think the biggest thing to do in times like this is, first of all, continue to have conviction in your plays if they deserve conviction, but long in your time horizon, you have to. But also just like realize like no one knows where the market is going next. All we're trying to do is to gather our theses, judge them, weigh them based on what we think is right. And again, if you want to be right only for one day, that's going to be hard. If you want to be right for 1 week, it'll be a little less hard. If you want to be right in the next 10 or 15 years, it's a lot easier. At least that's my opinion. Yeah. Awesome. Bradford, how's it going? Short squeeze today, heavily shorted last week by the hedgies at the lows. What's your call on the rest of the week? Is today just a tease? Yeah, well, I tweeted this out. Let me pull it up. I tweeted this out today. Did I go through all of my stuff that I wanted to go through? Yeah, I guess I pretty much did. I tweeted out today. Of course, correlation equals causation. I bought some jujus on the weekend. But I tweeted, as always, with these beginning of week moves, be careful chasing weekly call premium, buying out of the money lottos, in anticipation for continuation all week. Market makers love to entice on Mondays. Asterisks, of course, today's like a Monday because of the holiday. I continue to, like, we've seen this before with Tesla. I'm not saying there's going to be a rug pull coming, but if Tesla flatlines for the rest of the week, like, would we be surprised? I don't think so. I think we've seen this before when option volume is low, market makers, and I'm not saying today's just the market makers move. It was macro speaking there as well. Like if there was no relative strength, Tesla would still be up 5%. Nasdaq was up 2.5%. So, by the way, thanks for hitting like. Hit subscribe too if you guys are new. It's just a fall summit. Awesome. Much love. Hey, 258 people on a 2-minute head warning for a live stream. That's awesome. I love it. And I see 83 likes, by the way. Maybe we can get up to over 100. I appreciate it. Except Elon profit. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Leave me a comment if you guys like the evening live streams. I see Caesar saying yes, like the night live streams are a move. Let me know if you guys like the evening live streams. Maybe I'll start incorporating this sort of stuff. I know I do the whole Friday thing. Yeah. I mean, let me know if you like them. Maybe I'll do them on the go. Of course, if you're new here, Friday, power hour, last hour market trading. We always go live on the channel and it'll stay like that. I'll let you know otherwise. By the way, shout out to you guys. I saw 4 people bought the bucket hat on Friday's stream. I can't actually see who buys merch, It's like some sort of privacy issue. But shout out to you. I was going to say, if you guys are listening, feel free to send me a photo on Twitter, tag me in it. If you guys buy merch, shout out to you guys, nicejuju.com. It helps support the channel, of course. And I see a lot of Discord members in here from Patreon and channel membership. So shout out to you guys. John says, I just want it planned if possible, if I can build my evening around them. Honored, John. Thank you. Yes, I will try my best. Every now and then I just feel like Bill O'Reilly. Like, screw it. Let's go live. Are we doing a closing price guessing tonight? Hey, John, that's a great idea. Why don't throw in your prices right guesses for tomorrow morning's opening Tesla stock price? Not pre-market, but opening price. And maybe I can try to come back to the comments tomorrow morning and tweet out who won it. What do you think Tesla will open at? And futures are a little bit negative, mind you, right now. Thanks, Daryl. Appreciate it. No pressure. Court says, I love the evening live stream. If there is, awesome. Or he's bored at work. Edward, how's it going? Nice change of pace going live. And yeah, I'm down. I mean, you guys know I'm on the West Coast, so I really don't care if I'm going to go live late. What is it, like 10:30 p.m. Eastern? That's not too late, right? Yeah, that's not too late. Awesome. All right, I'm going to throw out a guess out there too. I'm going to say tomorrow morning we're going to gap up. I'm going to say we're going to gap up to 750 tomorrow morning. Is that a bit aggressive? That might be a bit aggressive. Hold on. Let me just check futures. Screw it. I'm going to throw that out there. You heard it here first. I have to say something that I'll remember. So I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something a little bit more outlandish. So I remember. Yeah, Sean says that's aggressive. Eddie says, do you think there's anything on the economic calendar that'll have a big effect? I think tomorrow Jay Powell is speaking, I believe. I'd have to double check. Remember, gap ups are dangerous too. 750 gap up, sell in the morning. That could happen. Gap up would be a good morning. Oh yeah, well that'd be like another 5 or whatever percent move, right? E says, if you go to 750, I will cry. All right, hopefully tears of happiness. All right, folks. Take care. Much love. Thanks for tuning in on an evening short impromptu live stream. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, join Patreon, channel membership, do whatever you want. Much love. Take care. Yasha signing off. I'm gonna go wash my face because I'm sweating in this room. It's hot in here. Take care. Good night. And hey, if we go up 10% tomorrow, go live again. All right, guys. Peace out. Much love. Take care.